foundation of old. Will the attitude and swagger graduate Terry Sims. He brings a team here today, though, with a new offensive coordinator and a Bethune-Cookman legend in Alan Suber, who's going to call plays for the first time. But he has had an off-the-field issue develop in the last 24 hours, and the starter, Arkevius Williams, is not dressed to play today, James, because of an academic question relating to a summer school situation. So Williams is being held out of the ball game today. Mitchell and Tompkins to take the kick of Michael Badgley, and away we go from Miami Gardens. And this is Kevon Mitchell at the goal line for Bethune-Cookman. 20-25 and flipped over out near the
senior, but they said, hey, don't be surprised if it is Larry Brim when we go out there just because he won it the previous day or because he won it in meetings last night on the quiz that they gave him. It's the senior to run the show here in a loud house this morning, though.
First down give. This is Michael D. Jones, who missed all of last year with an injury, circling to the outside and banged out near the 45-40.
Down there, helping him get a few extra yards.
Here's Jones again. And Michael D. Jones.
The scrimmages.
And there's the first catch for Jawil Davis, James, who went to American High School in the Miami area.
Larry Brim, the senior, he knows what's expected of him, even though with Suber, it's a new offensive coordinator. He's a smart guy, and he knows how to run this offense, and pretty much every time out there, it's an RPO. He's got the run-pass option. And for the first time after back-to-back first down carries, they go to the air, and that's one thing that you cannot get one-dimensional. You've got to keep them on their heels, throwing it around a little bit and running it as well.
Now they empty the backfield. 2 to the boundary, 3 wide. And this is Jones on the catch. Only a couple of yards there.
On the wide receiver, Kevon Mitchell is a good one as well out there. And Mike Jones, number 21, the seniors, really started the charge. Dee Delaney is a graduate transfer from the Citadel, the cornerback. Big questions in that secondary. And Mike Smith, no question that he's gotten better throughout camp, backing up the freshman in Pinckney, who won't play until the second half, finishing off a suspension from the bowl game.
Out in the flat, Jones on 3rd and long. Quarterman now on 4th down. Tupac Ismay has come in to join Jamaris Tompkins in the backfield.
Kane's got to be careful. They can't get too anxious here. Opening drive. Everybody's ready to get out there and hit somebody. Here's a big 4th down. Don't give them a freebie by jumping off sides.
Brim moves the pocket. Wide open. That's Brown. First down, Bethune-Cookman.
A nice, easy pitch and catch to Frank Brown, who's been making plays there for the Wildcats for quite some time. Way back his freshman year, caught that game winner to beat FIU.
On 1st and 10, a little counter. And this is Ismay. And he bangs away toward about the 19. Today, the humidity up, not as much heat because of the rain that has been here the last 12 hours.
Well, they may or may not hit a wall right now with trucks coming at them. These guys are pounding up front. Wildcat offensive line is firing off the punch.
Pistol set. Bounces outside. He'll have the first down to their 9th play here coming up. Off the 13-yard line a year ago, they were 64% in the red zone scoring touchdowns.
Pistol look.
Here's Ismay again. Keeps his feet. Tough running to the 10.
He'll get a breather here. Mike Jones back in the game. Boy, they sure would like to get 6 out of this opening drive, though. Don't get down there and just come up with 3.
Davis is the receiver to the bottom of the screen. Brim sacked. Wow.
Boy, put the hammer down on Larry Brim. First negative play of this opening drive here for Bethune-Cookman.
3rd and 13 for the Wildcats now. Missed on their first 3rd down try. Play clock at 1. And delay or movement. Now 3rd and very long. 18 yards for a first down. They got Davis lined up over here to the near side, James. By himself for Bethune-Cookman.
Didn't get it off. Play clock again.
Another delay, you're right.
That's going to happen against this defensive line, but you can't do this.
And now we got procedure. James, I think excellent point here because
Ball start.
the momentum they built with Jones, remember the momentum on the fourth down conversion a moment ago? And now all of a sudden, 3 straight penalties, 2 delays, and now a procedural penalty against the Wildcats. And there's Arkevious Williams, not playing today, academic issue. He's on the sideline, along with the backup wide receiver, Stephon Francis.
Hoping to get him back next week.
Yep.
Don't turn it over trying to get it all here in one fell swoop.
Grimm underneath, and this is Frank Brown, second catch. In his career, 6 of 10 last year. This is 36 for Hernandez, the junior from Homestead, Florida. Kick is good, and Bethune-Cookman has taken the lead on Hernandez's field.
And there's a look at that scoring drive. Terry Sims' crew, they came charging out of that locker room. An impressive opening drive, but they stalled there in the red zone. And a nice kick by a local guy, Uriel Hernandez, from 36. And they needed those points. They didn't want to come up empty, that's for sure.
Javonte Francis kicks it out of bounds. Jeff Thomas.
Yearby's on his way. You've got Travis Homer there with him, but this seems to me like the Mark Walton show. There he is, putting it on my shoulders, guys. He's another Booker T. Washington kid.
And here is Malik Rozier, second career start. Named the starter on August 22nd by Mark Richt. He'll keep it going to the right side, and Rozier across midfield. Nice play by the quarterback on.
And go. And when that really gets rolling as you get on into the season, a quarterback that can hurt you 2 ways, boy, that's doomed for defenses.
And here goes Walton on the second snap. And he'll get 9.
How excited he is about this quarterback. Junior from Mobile, Alabama.
In the gun with Walton again. This is Berrios working from the near sideline. And he will have the first down. To the
left guard from Miami Central in there locking it down. Mike Harley is a big-time freshman from up in St. Thomas Aquinas, Fort Lauderdale. Arthur Williams and Jamal Burgess in the secondary. They're going to have to shut down these receivers and keep a lid on it. Don't give up the big plays.
Here goes Walton. And he will lower the shoulder and drive it to the 20.
That keeps his team pumped. The undisputed leader of this Hurricane ball club.
Walton out. Travis Homer's in the game. Rozier swings it inside. Cager it.
And outdoor in high school back in Maryland. So keep an eye on him in the red zone.
Mark Richt wants a timeout. They were driving their opening possession. Now Miami's gotten in the CPI security red zone, and Mark Richt burned a timeout there to get his quarterback Rozier set and get Walton back in the game. Three receivers and a tight end. Walton trying to find a spot right side and got tripped up. Red Wolves.
Yeah, they'll need him. That's no easy one strolling in there before they go to Tallahassee. It's good they get one on the road, and they need to get that youngster back. 934 yards receiving as a freshman to break Michael Irvin's record.
First and goal now for the U. Walton sweeping left. Wow. Lowered the shoulder. Richardson was every minute.
From, of course, his inside line position, the left guard, and the defender getting past him and him still diving is trying to protect those guys, those low legs guys getting hurt and getting cut. The leader up front just with a hustle play. It's not like he meant to do it, but going backwards right now for the first time on their opening drive, the Canes.
Rozier off the penalty. Dumps it off. Here's Walton. And he'll drive it back to almost the original line of scrimmage.
Ball. Watch out for that changeup because he can give you a wiggle and make you miss in the open field too.
Rozier tried to get it to Harley, the freshman. It'll be third down.
Boy, would it be a big stop here for this defense if they can get off the field, just giving up 3 points after they were on their heels reeling this entire opening drive.
Rozier Tried to dump it to Walton, bounced off his hands.
At least out in front of him, give him a chance, because Mark Walton has always been the complete package for Mark Richt in this offense. He can catch the ball as good as anybody coming out.
Badgley 81% in his career. And he pushes that one through to tie the game. So we get a timeout just ahead of 3 minutes to go, first period. Each school's had it once. We're tied at 3.
Period. It used to be a question mark. It's gone to a period. They want that exclamation point. And they want to ride out in this opening game, get lathered. Sometimes it's easier to get out there for the offense. Not as much hitting, not as much tackling and going to the ground in two-a-days as there used to be. Now they got to bring the wood. Look at them swarm right here.
Here's Ismay on the back end of Larry Brim's 6th pass.
So the theme this year, resurge. Players and coaches wearing T-shirts with that message. The Cats are healthy. They have some veterans, and that word is a reminder to these guys to get back to doing the Wildcat way. We got a taste of it on that last drive.
Here's Brim on the keeper. Boy, he got plastered by Michael Jackson, the corner. And so Jackson, the big stick, quickly 3rd and long for Bethune-Cookman.
Michael Jackson, a nice surprise for Manny Diaz in this defense. The starter at cornerback, they're filling some holes over there at the cornerback and safety spots, and he does a great job. Talk about penetration, disrupting an offense. That time it comes from the corner, not from the inside on the slow zone read. Going to make you pay. Let's see if they can get off the field here. A nice 3 and out for Diaz defense.
3rd down, the full 7. Play clock down to 2. They get it snapped. Timeout called, I believe. Yes, Bethune-Cookman. Terry Sims did not want a 3rd delay of game penalty.
Well, and the chaos that was going on there in the backfield, even worse than a 5-yard penalty. They could have turned it over. That was a recipe for disaster, so a well-used timeout, not one that you want to use. But I think a wise timeout just to make sure you live to play another 3rd down and 7.
Well, this is the shirt. There's Coach Sims before the game and the resurge motto for the Wildcats this year.
And you too can resurge for only $19.99. That's what Terry told Rebecca on the phone when she asked him about that theme.
Yep. I like the approach. Former assistant, special teams and safety coach under Brian Jenkins, who went to Alabama State. He worked at Prairie View, Texas Southern. He was grad assistant with Ron Cooper at Louisville 22 years ago was Terry Sims. And a guy who is pleased with year 1, not so happy with year 2, and wants to see the bounce back in 3 in Daytona Beach. He's done it too with some familiar faces from the ACC on his staff. We'll tell you about as the afternoon unfolds. Jones checks out, slot left. Empty set for Brim on 3rd and 7. And Jones caught it, juggled it, and then Quarterman made the tackle on him. So it will be the 3 and out, James. You spoke up for Miami defensively. And the first punt of the day for Giovanni Francis coming up.
Canes brought 4. The Wildcat offensive line, a good job giving Brim enough time. He threw it high and hard. And again, Michael Jones, that's a tough pass to catch, even if he gets it cleanly. He hung on to it with Quarterman hanging on his ankles.
Number 4 punt returner in the ACC a year ago was Braxton Berrios, 11th nationally at better than 11 yards a return. Had a touchdown as well. Line shot to Berrios at the 25. And he'll work 10 yards up the far side and then got shoved out of bounds, and a flag will be thrown in behind it. DeAndre Bozeman was the first Wildcat there, and may have got him on the white stripe. 12-yard return for Berrios of a 44-yard punt here with 75 seconds to go in the first period. And Gary Patterson.
After the play, late hit out of bounds. Number 13 on the defense. Penalties 15 yards in the run. First down, Miami.
And that is Bozeman, who lost his hat along the way too.
I don't know that I agree with that call. I hate to jump on it. It just seemed like a momentum type of thing. And it's
look at Francis. getting tied up in the the punter.
It's not for
Romeo
sale,
Finley.
Francis. Not for $1 billion trillion.
Romeo Finley, the Miami player, hanging around with the punter Giovanni Francis. So plus field territory start for Miami at the 48 after the penalty. Rozier to throw, launching, and overshoots Darrell Langham.
Good play call.
You like it, don't you?
Well, it's just like a turnover. You're sitting there at midfield, go up top and try to put it on them. You know, you've got some commotion over on the sidelines. Terry Sims is upset. And an even better job there, Elliot Miller, stride for stride with the much bigger Darrell Langham.
Rozier again looking to throw. Off the hands of the intended receiver. Chris Herndon, the fourth, the tight end from Norcross, Georgia.
So what kind of pressure they get on the quarterback up here. Brought the blitz, a hit that came in a little bit late. No flag.
Yeah,
that's Richardson.
That's the All-MEAC safety, preseason All-America, Dyshawn Richardson.
Shaking off those stars a little bit. Rozier, he put it on the money even with the hit. Herndon had it in his hands, but couldn't pull it in.
Rozier, near side. Here's Harley's first catch. Wow. Mike Harley can move with the football to the Bethune-Cookman 30. It's a gain of 18 and a first down.
Well, even the young pups know where to run those routes. Hey, we need 7. You can't play that soft on a guy like Harley. He sets it down right at the sticks and adds some more onto it.
Here's Rozier keeping, and he'll get 5 to the 25. Boy, what a nice weapon to have with the mobility of the quarterback Rozier in that read option. Remember, now this is not to diminish Kyle James, but he was not the same kind of guy.
12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So there you see the penalty for 12 on the field by Bethune-Cookman.
Well, you're absolutely right, Wes, and that's, you know, and Kyle was a good leader and could throw it around the field. There he is up top trying to get the extra one off the field. And that'll give the Canes 5 yards and another look at first down. But, you know, defensively, when you know what you're going to get out of a quarterback, you know, hey, I can prepare for his arm. We're just going to take away his arm. We don't have to worry too much about. But when you've got to deal with his legs and his arm, you hear it all the time. But it's true. I mean, I grew up in a house with a defensive coordinator as a dad, you know, so it's like he'd yell at me that week they had to play a mobile quarterback that could throw. Not my fault, Dad.
Here's Walton redirecting, ran out of room, spun away, and has the first down. And now a flag in. Tackle made about the 16-yard line. We'll check the marker here from referee Patterson.
Illegal block in the back. Number 18, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's on Cager, the wide receiver. Look at Malik Rozier.
Rozier.
And you saw the block in the back, by the way. Quarterback health, right?
I guess so. That was pretty ugly. He balled up, got in the fetal position. That's the second time an illegal block has taken him backwards here. Still first down though.
Rozier shoots it downfield again and trying to come back and make the play for Miami was Harley.
Sitting with those coaches yesterday, offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, Mark Richt as well. They spoke highly of the young guys, Jeff Thomas, Michael Harley, and we're seeing it right here. Number 3 has been the target of Malik Rozier a few times here today. That time he tried to come back underneath. Good coverage and a pretty good start, a fun start anyway. Some big hitting and some hard charging backs going at it as well. We're tied at 3.
For the second quarter, the Canes are dressed and ready to go, James.
On the field and in the stands.
Really?
Where does he keep his wallet?
The ticket?
Yeah, I mean,
Spending money for concessions?
yeah, some loose change.
I just envisioned that be you in the seats. I just envisioned that be the way you'd go.
Just because I wear my football pants to the grocery store doesn't mean I'd wear full gear to a game, Wes.
Rozier opens quarter 2. Little screen into flat. Walton cannot break away. And a tackle by Bridges, the middle linebacker, and now flag. This is possible horse collar.
I was afraid that was going to come out. Dang it. What a play by Bridges. Only way before he gets a full head of steam, he goes, decides he's going to make the play, makes it, and he pulls him down by his jersey.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Got him in the middle of the number. Now remember, we have the alteration of the rule now that includes the nameplate.
Right, and that was low, and it shouldn't have been a flag. I mean, you see though exactly right there. Mark Walton is going to have a heck of a career in the NFL, and you see why they put that horse collar rule in there, because you see how dangerous, how he was folded over backwards on those legs. Terry Sims is upset, and he should be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a junior middle linebacker that goes and makes a play. If he doesn't make that play, the convoy he had in front of him, that's a touchdown. And it was a heck of a football play. Grabbed him by the jersey, but it's not what the officials saw. So instead of a nice play for a loss, it's another first down for the Canes inside the 20.
Now you got 6 penalties, 50 yards on Bethune-Cookman as well in this first half. Rozier dumps it again, middle of the field. Walton, that time the Wildcats rally nicely to the football. They'll pull him down for a loss of 2. Daniel Palmer, senior in that defensive front, had 7 tackles behind the line a year ago, gets 1 there.
A good job to sniff it out. First couple times when Walton stayed in there to pass block, he just kind of floats back there by the quarterback a little bit. This time he's up there in a hurry. They sniff out the screen, and they stuff it and drop him for a loss that time.
2nd and long. Hand to Walton at the 10. And it'll be 1st and goal, but a marker down at the 14. Terry Ramsey is the umpire today with referee Patterson. And another penalty.
Holding, number 74, offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
9 total penalties so far in this ball game, James. 16 minutes in.
Well,
and that's part of the first game, too.
To be expected a little bit, you know, whether you're Mark Richt or Terry Sims, you're still upset. You want it to be as clean as can be. It's been a long time coming. And it's not that they haven't gone over a lot of these things. It's just, you know, these are college kids at the end of the day. A lot of them freshmen and sophomores, and playing when the bullets are flying, so to speak, for the first time in this big-time atmosphere.
2nd and long. Rozier, little crossing route. Travis Homer. 1st and goal, Miami. Richardson makes the top for the Wildcats at the 6, along with Arthur Williams, who James spoke of earlier. And I think Williams is shaken up. Boy, Homer runs very well here.
Yes, he does. Good route, trailing the whole time as Bridges there. And watch him at the end of this run, a lot like Mark Walton. Arthur Williams took the big hit there. You know, he loses a helmet. They'll take him off and look at him. You know, Travis Homer, Mark Richt said he hasn't had a lot of live reps. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem, Coach Richt. He put his pads down and looked pretty physical, finishing off the end of that run.
Bethune-Cookman will take a timeout here. Early stages of period 2 as Williams is helped to the bench area for the Wildcats. 3-3 score, but Miami threatening when we come back to Hard Rock Stadium. Is brought to you by Hardee's, the official biscuit of today's presentation of ACC football.
How about this crew? Huh? There's Mark Richt. Now the head coach back at his alma mater. Look at Bernie Kosar next to him. Jim Kelly. Vinny Testaverde here on the end, and then Kyle Vanderwent, number 13. Earl Morrill, the quarterback coach at the time. Well, it doesn't get any better than that. How about the royalty?
Oh, yeah. Mark Richt from Boca Raton. And, of course, now Malik Rozier, Mobile, Alabama. Getting his second career start today. And Corey Gaynor at 285 pounds is the fullback ahead of Mark Walton here on 1st and goal. Back up at center. Hand to Walton. Tries to scoot here to the near side. Got the angle, got the dive, got the touchdown. A little something under the hood from number 1, James.
Woo. I told you the changeup was coming. It may not have been in the form of a wiggle, but it was that speed to get outside and beat them all to the corner. We've seen him now change directions a couple times. Look at the patience. Let it develop, nothing there. Now let me bounce outside. And how about Braxton Berrios? He's still blocking. Locked up with the receiver. And these young receivers, they're going to need to watch that in meetings this week.
6-yard touchdown run from Walton, and Miami has the lead now at 10-3 with a minute and a half gone in quarter number 2.
So here's another look at it. Harley, the freshman, starting this drive, and there's the change of direction earlier with Mark Walton. Through the air with Homer. Walton's back up. And here's that touchdown to cap it off. And watch here, Wes. Watch Braxton Berrios. You see him on the outside there, flash into your screen, driving his defensive back out of there. What's impressive about it is that play took so long to develop, and receivers are going to have to learn. They're going to have to stay on their blocks extra long when number 1 is getting the rock, because he'll make some guys miss and change directions.
Whole lot more than touchdowns for Mark Walton, Rebecca.
Yeah, guys, you can see how much this team relies on Mark Walton. He is playing this game with a heavy heart. For the first time ever, he won't see his mom when he looks into the stands. She passed away last March. 3 weeks before she passed, Walton welcomed a new baby girl into the world. So he has a lot going on and off the field. Coaches say it's just made him stronger.
Well, I think in visiting with Thomas Brown yesterday, the offensive coordinator and running backs coach, James, he's got a unique relationship with Mark Walton that not every coach and player has too. You know, I mean, clearly he's leaning on a guy who is a veteran, who is a leader, who's going to be a locker room leader for this football team as the year goes on.
Right. Well, and Rebecca, he said when his mom passed away that Mark was so strong that he worried about him, that it was at one point it was going to hit him. He was going to really realize and break down, but he's just a very mature young man, very strong on and off the field, mentally as well.
Brim dumps it to Mitchell. Kevon Mitchell, junior from Hollywood, Florida. His first catch of the day, tackled by Dee Delaney, the grad transfer from the Citadel, who James spoke of earlier. Well, Larry Brim, who was the 3rd most accurate passer in the MEAC a year ago, is 8 for his first 8 today, throwing the football for Bethune-Cookman.
2 days ago, he didn't think he'd be the starter here in Miami.
And Jones cannot get the first down. McIntosh, Thomas, Kendrick Norton. Sounds like a new law firm in South Florida, but it's...
Well, they're firm, all right. You know what? I'd let them represent me. I don't care. I don't care what they do. Yeah. Just have them walk me into the courtroom.
Well, 3rd now and about 1.5 yards. Let's call it 2.
This is big here. Wildcats don't necessarily have to march down and answer, but they really, last thing they want, the way that offense seemed to really get rolling, they don't want to hand it right back to him.
They're going to give it to Jones, trying to get to the edge, and he'll fall down back at the 30. He was running out of room. Mike Smith was out into the wide side of the field. A flag has gone down. Jonathan Garvin was also out there, a true freshman, on the field for Miami. And And now Gary Patterson is umpire Terry Ramsey talking things over.
After the play, personal foul, 57, offense.
Wow.
Personal foul, number 7, defense. Penalties offset. The down will count.
Fourth down.
Fourth down.
There we have
Fourth
it.
down.
Thank you, sir. So it's another 3 and out for Miami defensively, James.
Well, we pumped them up in the open. That opening drive wasn't so pretty, but it's especially you look at that, the second down where they go back and stuff that run. Here you've got Mike Smith doing a good job of getting outside, but you start to see kind of the big bodies inside really holding their own and muscling up. It's impressive.
Francis's punt is a good one. Barrios is going to let it hit. Oh, and it checks up for Bethune-Cookman. Inside the 10 at the 8 is where it will be down. And Miami on a 61-yard punt by Francis, which is his career best. We're back to South Florida in a moment. Well, Mark Walton's touchdown has given Miami the lead, but James, Mark Walton's done a little bit of everything already.
He really has. He's shown off his hands coming out of the backfield. There you see just one of the many pops that he's put on these defenders. Can make guys miss. And on that touchdown run, first touchdown of the season for Walton and the Canes, he showed you the change of direction, the speed to get to the corner, and a little leap, the cherry on top to get over the goal line. And his backup will start this drive for the Canes.
Procedure on Miami. So a flag on the play.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 74. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Well, our forecast here in South Florida today is brought to you by our friends at North Myrtle Beach. 87 degrees, expecting some rain. There was some showers this morning, much heavier downtown than here. And humidity always a factor this time of year. In fact, Mark Richt was fairly candid with us yesterday about it. Moving guys in and out of his lineup. Travis Homer on the read and slips around the corner, and he's got the first down out to the 24. Great second and third effort running by the sophomore from West Palm Beach.
Last couple years, it's been such a nice 1-2-3 punch at times with Johnson, Yearby, and of course Walton. And now look at just the sophomore Travis Homer staying inside. You know, the residual effect. Mark Walton gets in there, coaches say he's the first one to take out his pen, start taking notes, plays so hard, practices so hard. And it rubs off on everybody in that meeting room. And you can tell by that run right there that there's a whole lot of Mark Walton that rubs off on Travis Homer the way he runs the football, too.
Todney Evans makes the play that time. Minimal gain, if any, on 1st and 10 for Rozier. There's Cade Weldon and Nkosi Perry signaling in the plays for Miami. 2 of the 4 guys that were involved in the quarterback competition. Second down. Rozier in the flat, Homer. And out to the 32. It'll be third and about 3 before Williams leads the tackle parade for Bethune-Cookman on a 6-yard throw.
Good job there by the Wildcat secondary, getting outside, forcing him back inside to all your help. You can't take that initial fake and let him shake and get to that sideline. Then it's off to the races. So a good job to force a third down and short here. Let's see if they can get off the field. This would be big for Terry Sims' defense.
Rozier, middle of the field, and the catch is made. Langham at 6'4". Brings it in and crosses the 45 for a first down. Richardson there for Bethune-Cookman.
Mentioned it, big 6'4", even with tighter coverage there by Elliott Miller. It's a tough wall to go around, that inside slant. When he breaks it off, it's a nice, easy throw and catch.
Play fake by Rozier on first down, wants to take the deep shot. Langham is there and catches it inside the 10.
The new guy dropping dimes.
Mark Walton, a little start and stop. And picks up a couple of yards, maybe 3. It'll be second and goal.
That ball couldn't have been any prettier thrown by Rozier. An excellent concentration for the junior from Santa Lucia's High School up in Lantana, Florida.
Second down and goal. Tight end to the left with two receivers. Cager is the receiver here to the right. Rozier looks Cager's way. Did he get a foot down? No. Caught.
Routes, you've got to give yourself some cushion. Give that quarterback somewhere to put it where you still have some space. Can't run it too tight to the sideline.
Rozier in zone. Cager caught it that time. Touchdown Miami.
I mean, he just picking on Elliott Miller, the poor guy. They go at him, and and then you get a guy who gets his head down a little bit. They go at him time and time again. So many times you see something that works and teams will stray from it. Go right back to him.
Point after by back catch by Langham. Sets up Rozier's first touchdown pass of the year to Lawrence Cager. Bass Pro Shop catch of the game, James.
Ooh, catch of the game, throw of the game, almost coverage of the game. Going up Elliott Miller trying to knock it down. Might have been a whole different series for that young man had that one not gone. But then after that, they kept going right back to that same side, and it paid off after the big 46-yard completion. Rozier to Langham. Passes like that. He has a couple more like that. Malik and, well, they will be the gossip here for the next couple weeks heading into that game in Tallahassee and up against Arkansas State next week.
See the total yards differential. Here is Mitchell on a quick pass from Brim. Only a threat in Alan Suber's offensive philosophy would help him, but Brim's filled in nicely here today, James.
Absolutely. In command.
And there's his first miss, looking for the running back.
Just to get here, tore his ACL his senior year in the high school playoffs. Carl Franks went and got him.
Here's Brim shooting it to the far side. Was it caught? No. Ruled incomplete.
Flipped things around and made him the linebacker coach, so he was my coach for 1 year. But he just thinks the world of his young running back.
Another great punt, and Barrios will signal for and make the fair catch.
Scare you a little bit. Virginia Tech very strong as well. They'll come down here in early November.
Halfway home in the second period, and Walton now breaking free. Mark Walton crosses midfield, trying to get away from Richardson, who finally tracked him down at the Bethune-Cookman 30. You can play a long time at that spot, James.
Right. Well, plan is probably, you see those long arms to move him back outside. McDermott moved to the outside, but wow, if he's number 6, I'd like to see the 5 that are better than him.
Yeah, well, you know how rankings are. Here's Walton straight ahead, looking for the end zone. And he'll be taken down inside the 50.
Give him the ability to go north and south and get rolling. It's downright scary what he can do, and it's showing time and time again here.
Here's Walton, and he slips down at the 5. That's kind of how the pecking order works, and that's great for Miami, especially with a first-year starter in Rozier.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, the more reps Homer gets, you're not going to skip a beat with what we've seen today.
Another throw to the end zone. Langham went up top, pulled it in.
This is his show now. We showed you all those great Hurricane quarterbacks earlier there with Mark Richt. He's got a chance to really do some great things here in his junior and senior season for the University of Miami, a place where so many greats have come before him.
4 plays, 78 yards, and 156. They're reviewing all scoring plays, of course, and confirming this one before Badgley tries the point. (23-3). And the point makes it 24 in a row now by the Canes with 5:34 to go in this first half. Mark Walton, the star of the drive, James.
Absolutely. Don't forget our guys, Donaldson and Gauthier. They're leading the charge, getting up and pulling on that one. In 4 plays to go 78 yards, and a couple of them on the ground. That's saying something about the way they're rolling up front and the way Walton's going behind him. And you mentioned the throw, Wes. That time, you had the cushion. Remember back down at the other side on the first touchdown, or the last touchdown, rather, when they tried to get it to Langham, he didn't give himself enough cushion. figures it out, goes to the sidelines, gets coached up. Ron Dugans, the wide receiver coach, hey, give yourself a little bit of room. Give that quarterback some space to put it out there.
And Langham, of course, the catch. And here's our Toyota Tweet of the Week. You talk about star power from the U. Michael Irvin at the Mayweather-McGregor fight with Ray Lewis and Andre Johnson. I'm going to go ahead and speculate they had decent seats last week in Vegas.
You know what? And I'll bet you they did a little bit of talking. I mean, they're so excited around here about these Hurricanes and the chance that they are truly on their way back. I'll bet you they were pretty pumped after that fight, getting ready for this one.
Mitchell at the goal line for the Wildcats. 20 and pushed down shy of the 25. So that's where Larry Brim Jr. and Bethune-Cookman will get going.
That one, looking forward to Florida State the next week, but I like it on the schedule because what it does is it sends your team into a hostile environment. That'll be the biggest game they play in a while up there, and they'll get their all, and it'll be hard to communicate.
Yep.
It'll get them ready for Tallahassee in 2 weeks.
Michael with the athletics director at the University of Miami, Blake James. Here's Michael. And there's the catch. That's Jaquan Loomis, the redshirt senior at tight end from Orlando. You see the way that the drives have gone. There's a first down throw to Mitchell from Brim.
Injured last year, so banged up, had the shoulder injury. He's happy to be healthy and leading this team here.
Play fake Brim. Shoots it inside. That's the catch by Jawill Davis. Redshirt senior. Tempo here, James.
Well, that's what they wanted to do coming in. Whoa. Dangerous ball, fluttering around there and give up a lot of touchdowns. They stiffened when they got down, and a lot of that had to do, yeah, they were young up front, but they had experience in heady safeties.
Brim flush from the pocket. Loops for Lucas. And Loomis holds on to
the senior Loomis, and boy, the Wildcats like to do something here before halftime to chip into that 24-3 lead now. Got to keep it moving.
Brim looking near side and incomplete. Cameron Ree, but they're going for it on fourth down. Jones has come back in as the running back. Play fake by Brim. Looks for Brown, who makes the catch. Or Davis, beg your pardon, Jawill Davis.
Nowhere they're trying to get. They're not trying to beat you outside and take that bait. Stay strong in there.
Brim throws again to Davis.
Absolutely. Plenty of time here left in the first half. And just like, like we said on the other side of the ball when they were going after Miller, they found something that they liked. Keep going back to it.
2.5 to play in the opening frame. And that ball deflected. Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. ACC football presented by your local Ford dealers. And Bethune-Cookman set for their 11th play of the drive. And Larry Brim Jr., the quarterback, 6 of 9 for 57 yards. And he's got 2nd and 10 as we return to live action. Eludes the pressure the first time, won't get away the second time from Joe Jackson. And now a flag is thrown from the center judge.
Was a backup.
Yep.
I don't think, I thought maybe they just threw a celebration flag. He was so fired up as he came up from the tackle. Moten didn't seem to be arguing, pleading his case on the sidelines, so maybe it's something we didn't see.
First and goal now for Bethune-Cookman. Brim to the end zone. Delaney right there with Davis.
Looks kind of fun. It's been infectious.
Here's a toss. Jones trying to get to the edge, and he's going to give ground back.
Miami. That's what I think of when I hear the word. I mean, that's what the toughness and the swagger is all about, is great defense. And great defense always means teams swarming the football. That's how you make the big plays, and that's how, when a guy like Delaney strips it out, your defense, your team ends up with it. Let's see if they can stuff him on third.
Brim under duress, tried to throw it in the middle of the field. Is it intercepted?
And it got a little bit too interesting for Wildcat fans.
Hernandez, who had a 36-yarder to cap their first drive, with under a minute to go here first half, tries to get Bethune-Cookman on the board again. This is 30 yards. And delay again, 5.
These are the kind of things, though, Wes, that'll drive Terry Sims crazy. I mean, that's what you've been working on for 29 days of camp, is not to have delay of games. Get him out there.
Kick is good. It might have been a little altered, James. Hit the line.
I thought you meant by those orange shoes that Hernandez wearing.
Well, they are bright, but the kick is good, and Bethune-Cookman's on the board again. Did somebody get there?
I don't know. The box score, though, it looks like he drilled it right down the middle and it ended up in the stands.
That's exactly right.
Give him 3.
24-6. Hernandez has banged home a couple of field goals, and that's a 14-play, 59-yard drive in 4:41. And under a minute to go with 53 seconds. Hernandez is probably, I'm glad I don't have to kick that again.
Happy Hernandez.
So it's 24-6. And here is Thomas at the 10. 25-30 and out to about the 32-33.
So they've worked on it time and time again. I'll guarantee you here in the 29 days of camp, this is the first time a live situation. It's not a scrimmage against his own guys. He can try it.
Here is Walton on first down. He found a seam, bounces to the 40, and they'll whistle it dead at the 41 with 35 seconds left. And let's see, Miami got a sense of urgency. Now the package here now with Rozier in the final half minute. Second down and 1. And here is Homer. He'll have the first down and more. Travis Homer quickly into the Bethune-Cookman secondary to the 34-yard line. And Miami hustles to the line. Canes are out of timeouts, by the way.
They look good. Rozier getting them up there, and
there's the spike
at the
of
kill
it.
Clock. Even as a sophomore.
42 yards on 3 carries for Homer, with 1,300 yards as a senior in West Palm Beach.
They're a lot easier to hit, a lot more of a target when they run straight up and down. When they lean like that, you don't get much.
Rozier looking for Harley, who went out of bounds and then came back in.
He was a little bit surprised when he popped up.
Fumbled snap, but they fall on it. Second down, they got to hurry the clock. Nope, it expired on them.
Well, I don't know that he was ready.
Yeah, he wasn't. You're right.
Get right back on it. And Gauthier has had some good blocks, but he's had a couple penalties. There's a snap. I don't know whose fault, but quarterback and center not on the same page. And remember, Gauthier, he was a new guy. Nick Linder, he left the team about a month ago, didn't he, Wes? The center
That's
that
right.
had been here for a long time.
Yep.
So some things definitely coming out of that first half. There's a whole lot of pretty. There's still some things to coach him up on.
Well, Malik Rozier and the Canes turned away at the end of the half, but they've had a pretty good start to this 2017 campaign. Miami 24, Bethune-Cookman 6. Hardy's halftime report coming up next. Tallahassee to meet Florida State. And you may have heard the Noles open with Alabama tonight in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is a big weekend for the ACC, coming off maybe its best year ever as a football conference. Not just Clemson winning the national title, that's happened before, an ACC school winning the crown, but the overall power of the league in 2016, can it maintain its spot in the road as 2017 unfolds? Second half we go, and this will be Thomas at the 12. Can really fly, tried to get to the edge, and a nice play in space by Joseph Johnson. Well, we talked about Rozier in the first half, and he was steady in his second start.
Absolutely, in the first start here in 2017, the battle in camp announced a little while ago that he was going to be the guy, and he certainly looked like the guy in the first half. And when you've got a little bit of a balance where you can run the football and have some success, you pick your poison as a defensive coordinator on what you're going to take away, what you're going to stop. And with the 1-2 punch, these receivers, for Rozier to toss it around to, and Mark Walton, that's not fun for any defensive coordinator out there.
Walton in the backfield. Play fake Rozier. Berrios is wide open. Rozier is going to keep it across the 40 and then out of bounds at the 42. It'll be a 14-yard run on first down for Malik Rozier.
Well, he was going to tuck it and go the whole way. That's the way they started that first half. They wanted to get him lathered up and use those legs. Look at Berrios blocking down the field. I've been impressed with Braxton Berrios. You mentioned a little bit quiet last year, and he can play any of those wide receiver spots. He's a good return guy, too. He's an important piece of this Miami puzzle. And on the touchdown to Walton earlier, he was blocking his tail off.
Here goes Walton. First carry of the second half. He had 124 on a dozen takes in the opening frame. Dyshawn Ray, big 300-pounder. Redshirt senior moved out of there to make the play on Walton.
That big orange wall in front of Mark Walton. The way they get up and move. It's any offensive lineman from the move like that, but especially these huge guys.
Rozier looking for Cager. Wide open. Downfield inside the 25 to Lawrence Cager. Big redshirt sophomore who missed all last year with an injury has had a very nice debut here in 2017. That's 33 yards.
Well, there's the back end of it, but miscommunication there defensively to let a guy like Cager just run free down the sidelines. Good job by Malik Rozier to find the easy one, pitch it out to him, and now they're knocking on the door one more time.
Rozier looking middle of the field, and boy, it looked like that time Langham got tripped up as he was trying to turn it toward the post, James.
How about some of these weapons for Mark Richt? We've seen Harley early on. We haven't seen him in a while. Look at the big body on Langham, who's had some nice catches, a touchdown catch, had the big 46-yarder earlier where he looked it in while he had the hand going in front of his face. Braxton Berrios is doing a great job. DJ Dallas, haven't seen him yet. And we haven't even mentioned Amon Richards, the freshman phenom from last year.
Richards tweaked a hamstring a couple of weeks ago. Did not go through the third scrimmage. And they are making sure he's all the way. Those hamstrings can be funky little injuries, James. You get into the fall, can drag on if you're not careful. They want to make absolutely sure with the sophomore Amon Richards. There he is. Turning the corner is Herndon, the tight end. Well, add Chris Herndon the fourth to the guys who have played tight end at the U that have some athleticism. That's a 9-yard play. First time we've seen Herndon catch it. But you talk about Amon Richards now, 6'1" sophomore from Wellington, is a game changer for Miami, given what else we've seen here today.
Anytime you're in the same league numbers-wise as Michael Irvin, let alone break his records as a freshman.
Here's a dump down, and this again is, well, speaking of, here is Michael Irvin, the second sophomore from St. Thomas Aquinas. 6 games, no catches last year. There's his first career reception.
Well, Rebecca, I hope Dad had his cell phone out there. He said he had his phone out taking pictures earlier.
I hope he did too.
Yes.
Left side, Walton. Touchdown number 2 for Mark Walton. 2.5 minutes into quarter 3. Miami's added another marker.
Herndon's going to set the edge right here. He goes up to the second level and clips off Daquan Richardson. And there's a guy in number 1, West, that doesn't need a whole lot of help to get to that corner. There's his offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown, former Georgia Bulldog, coach and player.
6-yard run, 7 plays, 72 yards, 2.5 minutes. Badgley's point after is perfect. And Miami now out in front, 31-6. here in the third quarter. And, well, Mon Richards, you mentioned the numbers a year ago, James. And his absence today not affecting Miami, but you start looking at what he did a year ago. There's a big play on the Knowles for the rookie. And then we saw this one live at Virginia last year.
And it's overused to hear someone say, oh, he runs like a gazelle. But it fits. If it fits, you can use it, I think. Amon Richards, that when he gets going in the open field, what a beautiful runner to see him take off. And there you see his numbers, 934, led all freshmen in the country last year. And you're absolutely right about that hamstring. It's, you know, as big as next weekend is, too. It gets tougher to go up to Arkansas State. If he's not 100%, it'd be tough to play him. Because if you get to where it's just past the point where it's nagging you a little bit too much, it's going to be something that bothers him all season long. And he's too big of a weapon as they get into it. Florida State coming up.
Here's Badgley cutting a third of the field off on this kick from Mitchell. What a great placement by the veteran place kicker Badgley. And so it'll be a touchback, and the ball will be spotted at the 25.
Look at that mullet, Wes. Look at that mullet. Badgley's got a mullet.
Badgley.
Look at that.
Bidding for early Batesy Award checklist.
Whoa.
Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah.
Is he already on the preseason Batesy list?
He might get the trophy.
No, wait, we're early for that.
Yeah. He got a dap from his coach and a rub of the mullet. That's got to be good luck.
But you like the cut, don't you? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, Miami's defense back out there, and the Canes. And Mark Richt, I thought, very interesting in his chat with Rebecca about, hey, look, you know, you're not sure what you're going to do defensively, so you get out there and you got to make the adjustments and give the Canes credit. Here's Larry Brim on first down, getting it into the hands of Kevon Mitchell. Boy, and the white helmets were flying that time on the speedster Mitchell. Michael Pinckney is back on the field now for Miami. There is 56. We had to miss the first half because of the targeting call in their bowl game.
There he is. I bet you he's chomping at the bit. Get in there with his two freshman buddies from last year, now all sophomores.
They'll dump it out in the flat, and here comes Brown to the near side, and Quarterman races across to pull him down. So now the full complement is there. When you talk about Shaq Quarterman, Michael Pinckney, and also Zach McLeod. And Dwayne Brown is shaken up for Bethune-Cookman. And Big 57, a transfer from Eastern Michigan at nearly 340 pounds, trots off.
Interesting. They get a lot of those transfers, guys that want to come back to the state of Florida and play right away. 3 Florida kids, though. You mentioned those linebackers, Wes. Pinckney and Quarterman from up Jacksonville area. Pinckney from Jacksonville, Rains, and Zach McLeod from down here, South Florida. And Lantana. There's a big third down for those backers and the guys up front.
Here's the throw by Brim, and batted up in the air, and coming back with it is Trajan Bandy. Excited about Bandy's presence here in Miami. Larry Brim thought it was incomplete.
Flag down.
Flag on the play. Delay a game.
Well, there's one that you don't mind.
Wow, he got tagged by McIntosh as he cut it loose. 4th delay penalty against Bethune-Cookman. Boy, Trajan Bandy has a nose for it too, like Dee Delaney, doesn't he?
Still, Larry Brim has done an okay job. Look at him, he's just in control. He seems, you know, down 31-6. Not everything's been perfect. You know, great start after being named the starter. The academic reasons, if you joined us late, Williams, the sophomore, was supposed to start. Kevius Williams is here but won't play, hoping to get him back next week.
Here is Brim now after the penalty on 3rd down. Out in the flat, this is Jones around the corner. He'll have enough for the first down. Well, Larry Brim and Michael D. Jones convert just Bethune-Cookman's second third down of the day, Rebecca.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Terry Sims when he came out from for the second half, and he told me obviously he wants his guys to clean some things up. But when I asked him about Larry Brim, he said he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He is running the show out there, guys.
Oh, I'd say that, and James noted this. Thank you, Rebecca. His leadership and his experience is paying dividends today, I think, Batesy, for Bethune-Cookman.
Well, and it shows how mature he is, that he doesn't hang his head and just, fold the tent when a sophomore supposedly had beat him out.
Here is Mitchell on the pass, and he got knocked down by Jaquan Johnson. 6-yard throw. Jaquan Johnson in the Miami secondary, starting today for a 6th time, is a guy who will forever be known in Miami lore as the scorer of the winning touchdown off the laterals at the end of the Duke game a couple of years ago. Now, he may have bigger moments, but he'll always be known for that.
He'll never have a bigger moment than that. No, so it was, I was under the impression it was, so was it Corn Elder that threw that?
That's Corn Elder scored it. Jaquan Johnson was the guy that lateraled back in the one that later I think they thought his knee was down, or in the video showed his knee was down, but Johnson was the guy that kept the play alive early, I should say. Elder's the one that scored, you're right. Elder's moved on to the NFL trying to make a team, by the way. And we got movement and Bethune-Cookman on procedure. Wildcats opening drive today, handcuffed by penalties, and this one
False start.
Also
Number 56.
being sidetracked.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Got to hold your water. Getting jumpy on the defensive side, trying to get across there in a 3rd down and short.
Yeah.
Offensively, you know when it's going to be snapped. Just be patient. You got the upper hand.
Well, they really like Joe Busarif, who plays in that offensive line for them. They've mixed and matched some guys around there. David Bryant in there. The penalty a moment ago on Chris Adams in that front.
Play clock going down, and now under 3.
Got to get it snapped. Adams delivers. Quick throw out in the flat, and working here up the near side. This is Tompkins down the near side and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 20. Down at the 16, 17-yard line of Miami.
Excellent job, Anthony Cruz, Kevon Mitchell. They throw it right where the blitz comes from, and releasing and blocking is Philip Norman. And not only Norman, but then Cruz, the receivers, and Mitchell as well. What a big play twice.
Yep.
You have them in 3rd down, and that's where Manny Diaz, those defenses that he used to love to watch growing up, you get off the field in those situations. Great defenses on 3rd down, you get off the field. You don't give them another chance to stay alive and stay on that football field, especially give away these big plays.
So 41 yards on the pass to Jamaris Tompkins, and now he gets the handoff and got plowed by Pinckney.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Boy, Michael Pinckney, this is some kind of stick right here. Get the textbook out, Bates. You like that, don't you?
I do like. You know what I like about that is, and that's one thing, all 3 of these freshmen, naturally last year, a freshman linebacker, he's supposed to run himself out of plays and get himself in trouble. Sometimes, make it easy for the blockers to block him. They have a natural feel for playing in all that junk there in the middle, and he sees an opening there, just slice through and go make it.
Brim pumped it and gets out of bounds inside the 15, where it'll be 3rd down now. Well, we told you the sophomores, McLeod, Quarterman, Pinckney, all sophomores. Look at the details on their rookie campaigns.
And they're only going to get better every time they go out there. When you're that young, Wes, the growth. Remember when we first, in his sophomore year, when we met with Lamar Jackson last year, and he said, my freshman year, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just running around trying to play sandlot ball. Everything starts to slow down more and more. Manny Diaz, he said, we didn't even coach technique. We just wanted to coach hustle and tackling last year.
Brim, middle of the field. And a big lick at the goal line. Put on Donald Johnson, the 4th.
Hey, Don Johnson is supposed to run things here in Miami. You can't treat Don Johnson like that in Miami.
Robert Knowles, the hit.
Well, Knowles dropped him, didn't he? That was
Brim going to try and sneak it. And I'm not sure Larry Brim got in.
Kane say they got the football.
Now Miami says they have the football.
Second and goal.
So ruled down. And just outside the east goal here.
Good job by those guys with the white hats at taking the punch to that offensive line to stuff it.
Jones back in the ball game. Snap to Brim. Hand to Jones. Bethune-Cookman thinks he got in. He did. Michael D. Jones. First touchdown of the day for the Wildcats. He had 7 rushing scores 2 years ago, James. Missed all of last year, but has the Wildcats' first score this year. "11 plays, 75 yards, and 614. Hernandez. Point after is good. And Michael D. Jones punches one in for the Wildcats for the first time today. 31-13 in Miami. Aim clean. The Damari Gallery of Champions on the University of Miami campus. And of course, you know Miami's won national titles, 5 of them. Last one in 2001. Bethune-Cookman on the board with their first touchdown of the day. Mike Jones from a yard out. And now Hernandez set to kick it away. Berrios and Thomas are deep. On this opening weekend of play in college football. Week 1. Last weekend I heard called week 0, James, just so you know.
All right. That'll work.
End over end kick, and this will be Thomas off the 2. Wow. Daquan Richardson. Hello. We need a break after that. So does Thomas. Big lick by the guy they call Deuce Deuce. We'll return to Miami Gardens in a moment.
Meet the all-new.
Part of James, when you get your beverage, you use the food tray to fan off with it. We find our DQ fan cam all over Hard Rock Stadium.
If you were eating something from Dairy Queen right now, what would you order? It's not a great Dairy Queen day, but it'd be tough. It wouldn't last long, that ice cream. There's Berrios.
Yep, second catch of the day for Braxton Berrios.
Good to see him get him the rock. He's been blocking all day long, helping out those big touchdowns.
Wearing the Captain C on his jersey as the senior from Raleigh.
What would you order, Wes?
What?
Dairy Queen out there if you were sitting in that sun.
Oh, it'd be like one of those blizzard deals. You know that. High formation and 3 receivers here on first down. Play fake by Rozier. Going to be in trouble. Can he get away? He squeezes out of there and picks up about 4, maybe 5. Crafty little play for Malik Rozier.
Seen some great things from him. Here's just one more thing to add. Look at him getting himself out of trouble. What looks like it's a guarantee 3-yard loss. Instead, protect the football and get what you can. Well, what he can is, it's not just back to the line of scrimmage. He gains 5 yards on the play falling forward.
There's a give to Walton. First down and more. Mark Walton out to the 48-yard line. Well, you said it earlier, James, in our first half. He can drop the boom on you or he can leave you skating too.
As a lead blocker here too, makes the guy miss, and there you see the shake in the open field. And that's where, watch him with this little wiggle. How many times in the first half does he run right into that guy? And you see Miller on his heels a little bit because he knows that load's coming, and then he gives him a wiggle and gets on past him.
Flip it out in the flat. Caught by Thomas, the freshman from East St. Louis, Illinois, and he's brought down behind the line. Fine play in space by DeJuan Jackson.
Excellent job by Jackson there, and that's the way you make sure there's no wiggle involved. You turn and you go, heat it up before they can get their shoulders square. Those fast guys out in space give you nightmares. One of the hardest things to do in all sports is to make that open field tackle.
Rozier, a little pump and go. Looking downfield, and Langham, the intended receiver. Just ahead of 4 minutes to play here in the third, and it'll be 3rd and a dozen now for Miami. Quickly into 3rd and long of the Canes. They are 4 for 5 today on 3rd down.
Defensively, know where those sticks are. They're trying to get up there to the 41-yard line. Know where they're trying to run those routes.
Rozier tried to rip it across the middle of the field. Intended for Michael Irvin, and it got broken up by Marquise Hendricks.
Sits in there. Good job by Hendricks. Watch that quarterback. Here's running off, leave his zone.
Here's the freshman Zach Fiegels, whose dad was a long time NFL punter, but also played here at Miami. Young freshman from Glen Rock, New Jersey, is the number 7 punter nationally a year ago in high school. Hangs it high. And Brown going to watch it hit and then get away from it. And Travis Homer catches it on 2 hops at the 1. 51-yard punt on the first collegiate offering of Zach Fiegels. Applause all around. Miami leads 31-13. Miami in front, 31-13, and our Toyota Let's Go place this segment. How about beautiful Hard Rock Stadium, James?
Ooh, it's changed a lot since we were here last. I like
I'd say 2 years ago, you bet. And they've got the canopy now covering the full seating area. All sorts of clubs and other amenities. And our venue here for television, just outstanding. Tupac Ismay is the running back. Grim to throw and offline, throwing it out in the area of Jawill Davis with Trajan Bandy out there in coverage. And here's some of the notes on this full renovation. The club level and 147 brand new suites. And then party terraces, and the parking lot's been overhauled as well. Beautiful venue, not only the home of the Canes, the home of the Miami Dolphins. And of course, this is the site of the Orange Bowl, and it's also in the CFP rotation. 2nd down. And did we get movement there? Hard to tell.
False start. Number 58.
Montel Jordan, James.
2nd down.
Apparently this is not how we do it. Transfer from Akron. I know. It's just right there. You cannot let that go by, can you?
I know. You know how hard it's been for me not to say I ain't mad at you whenever Tupac's in the game? Oh, my heavens.
In the gun is Brim. Got to get rid of it. Does, and airmails it. Sends it out of there. And now a flag is going to be thrown, I believe, on McLeod for a late hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 53. Defense. 15 yards. Automatic. 1st down.
Terry Sims not happy, even though the penalty's going to give his club a fresh set of downs. Well, that's what happened there.
Well, see, off the top of the show, I talked about those great defenses of the past for the Canes, the 9 seasons, the span where they gave up 11.7 points per game, a touchdown or less in 43% of those games from 86 to 94. But the offenses have changed quite a bit, and football's changed quite a bit. There's no way that's a flag back then, but it's roughing. Fortunately, it wasn't any sort of targeting where you lose another linebacker for a while.
Here's Brim, a little RPO again, dumps it out in the flat. This time Mitchell trying to find his way around the edge and gets it to the 25. A yard shy of the first down.
Wes, I'm telling you, I like the way Brim runs this offense.
Yep.
He doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, look, they were backed up on their own goal line. He just takes a late shot, goes down. He's very much in charge of this offense and running the show. And I think it's going to be a good season for him in the offense once they get into the thick of their schedule.
Hand off to Isby, and Chad Thomas is having none of that. We'll talk about another guy that lit it up a year ago. He is primed for a huge year for Miami.
And how many times do you see guys like a bull in a butcher shop just going back there, just running and out of control? You see him break down. Let him make his move, give him a one-way go, and use those long limbs to reach out there and throw him down. One of many great Booker T. Washington guys here on this team. Booker T. had a big loss at Central a couple nights ago in a close game.
Here's Brim scrambling on 3rd and short. And he'll cut it loose before Quarterman got to him, but it's ruled incomplete. And there'll be a punt coming for Bethune-Cookman.
It's so much fun for me to watch through that defensive lens, to watch a guy see the gap, see the angle, and go make it. Not hesitate at all. And here's Quarterman from his middle linebacker spot, just cleanly. He sees it, goes, and when he decides he's going to go make it, it's one thing for a guy to say, hey, that's where I would have gone and make the tackle. But you got to have the athleticism to back it up. He has it all right there. Has the burst, finishes, nice clean lick. Good job by Quarterman. Get off the field.
Francis toward Barrios. Running catch of it for a fair catch at the 47-yard line. And that's where Miami will get started. Just a 29-yard punt there. Well, week 1, we've got plenty of storylines for you in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Of course, Miami, the preseason favorite in the Coastal. Don't count out Justin Fuente's team, who plays tomorrow night at FedEx Field against West Virginia. 5 teams in the preseason top 25. And then, James, you may have heard Florida State, Alabama tonight in downtown Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Derek Nottie will be there, by the way.
Ooh.
Travis Homer in the backfield as the Canes get started from the 48.
Be fun to watch. Be fun to watch West Virginia and Virginia Tech as well.
Here is Homer, and he'll get 8, almost 9 on first down. Well, the Noles come back. You don't know the running back, per se. Patrick Akers certainly in the mix. You know about Francois, but here are the details on where Jimbo Fisher now has Florida State. And the preseason pick to win the ACC title. As you see Homer pick up the first down yardage. James, the biggest challenge tonight for Florida State is what, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think that Hurts is a world beater. That's the thing. I think that if they can shut down the run, which is, that's a tough task, but it's still. Florida State's as big and physical as anybody in the nation, and I think that they can. And so they can take away that run game and make that quarterback feature.
Look at Travis Homer going 2nd and 3rd level that time inside the 25. 1st and 10 for Miami down near the 22. One of Homer's better runs of the day.
He runs a lot bigger than 5'11", 190 when he lowers those pads. And just these guys, these backs, they do such an excellent job of keeping those legs churning. Thomas Brown, not only the offensive coordinator, but the running back coach as well, does an excellent job with those guys in his room.
Barrios, touchdown. Rozier throws for his third score of the day with 1:08 to play in the third. Two-yard strike here, James.
Such nice balance throughout the day. On the ground, Walton and Homer pounding the football.
And Badgley's point after is good.
We go right back to the air. Here's Berrios. He can play any of those spots out there at the wide receiver position. And, well, defensively, Arthur Williams is standing over him, looking inside, but he's straight leg. With these Miami receivers, you better be out there and be on the balls of your feet and have your knees bent, because you're not going to have much of a chance even when you are in an athletic position. But to stand there, legs locked on your heels, and just let a Miami receiver come running right at you, it's over before it even starts. And that was way too easy for the Canes. But Berrios and Rozier will take it. Good protection up front. And the Canes really have things rolling on offense.
Nice day for Malik Rozier. 3 touchdown passes. And they've all kind of been different, dynamic. I mean, that one was on the money with a little zip behind it. The other two, you know, fades to the corners, James. And yet he's thrown the deep ball, too. Kevon Mitchell will wait on the kick by Badgley, and it's over his head. So Bethune-Cookman will scrimmage from its 25-yard line. Well, next Saturday, we'll be in Midtown Atlanta. The Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech back home at historic Grant Field after they open against the Vols on Monday night. And they'll get Jacksonville State, who beat Chattanooga last Saturday in their opener. And Georgia Tech just outside the AP top 25. But Paul Johnson is one of those 6 coaches who rank in the top 18 of career winning percentage. And of course, they had the win in the TaxSlayer Bowl against Kentucky, one of the 9 wins in 2016 for the ACC in the postseason.
Well, you're right there in Atlanta. What's the buzz, no pun intended, that Tennessee Vol and Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket matchup?
Well, it's interesting because injuries and dismissals and that type thing. Kirkland, the linebacker, Tennessee, not going to play. Okay. Dedrick Mills dismissed from the Georgia Tech team. Right. Jackets are going to be without Andrew Marshall as well in the offensive line, James. And another delay a game on Bethune-Cookman starts the possession here. So Monday night will be just as interesting in many respects at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as Saturday night will be with Alabama, Florida State. By the way, Terry Sims has got the former Bethune-Cookman Wildcat Alan Suber is his new offensive coordinator. And Coach Suber told us in our conference visit with him the other day, James, first time he's called plays. And they're signaling in stuff. He's up here next to us, and that's 5 delay of game penalties against Bethune-Cookman today.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
Here's Brim rolling and throwing and intercepted. Nope, ruled incomplete before it could be picked by Romeo Finley. Finley's almost had 2, I think.
Oh, they've had about 3 or 4 almost on the defensive side. Good call. It does hit the ground, but what an effort by Finley.
Tried to sell it. And there is Alan Suber, who came over from Alabama State, where he was with Coach Brian Jenkins. And he's calling plays for the first time. He was a wide receivers coach. Great player at Bethune-Cookman in his playing days. Spent a year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here is a dump down to Jones. And breaks the plane of the 25 to the 26. Rebecca.
Guys, you talk about Alan Suber. Boy, what a competitor. One of the team bonding events these guys took part in during camp was bowling, and Alan Suber was actually the high roller. He bowled a 238. When I asked him which player was tops, he reminded me, nobody remembers the losers. Apparently a phrase he uses often at practice.
He was lightning quick to give you that response, too, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He said it a few times.
Yep, 238 for Coach Suber.
No, but you're right, Wes. You need to be quicker, relaying everything down to the field as they move on.
Here is Brim escaping the pocket and scrambling for the first down out to the 41-yard line. 14-yard run for Larry Brim Jr. And that will be the final play of the third period here at Hard Rock Stadium. Malik Rozier has thrown for 3 scores. Mark Walton has run for 2 more. And number 18 leads by 25 after 3 periods of play. We're back after this. The quarter stats as we get rolling here in Miami Gardens, Florida. The Canes are in front, James, but that long scoring drive that got the Mike Jones touchdown covered 75 yards and pretty respectable for Alan Suber and the Wildcat offense of Terry Sims.
Yeah, absolutely. It was where they opened up that first half. They came out and hit it there on that last drive in the third quarter.
Brim opens the fourth, firing to Jawill Davis across the way. Hey, what, Davis, an 11-yard catch that time, and adds to his tally. That's his 5th catch of the day. Michael Jones has 5. Kevon Mitchell 4 of Larry Brim's 21 of 31 here today for almost 200 yards.
A little bit faster over the ball now, and
will counter back, and this is Tompkins. Wow, nice play in the open field, and that was D. Delaney crashing down from the corner.
Not all corners like to come up and mix it up like that, put their hat in it, but that's one thing that Mark Richt said about the new guy, the graduate transfer from the Citadel. Said, hey, the locker room, all they want to know is will you work hard and are you tough? Ability, yeah, you can throw that out the window. They just want to know what kind of guy are you before they'll let you lead them or follow you with anything near that. And there's a nice first down on 3rd down and short to knife through and to keep those chains moving.
Jamaris Tompkins picks up the conversion. So 1st and 10 for Bethune-Cookman. Rebecca, more on D. Delaney, huh?
Yeah, when we were talking to offensive coordinator Manny Diaz, he compared D. Delaney to Miami Marlins slugger Giancarlo Stanton in his home run record, saying he is picking off a pass or forcing a fumble in every game this fall that we've had. It became expected, normal. He said the other guys on the defense were seeing him, and it became contagious. So look out.
Yep. Well, he comes in with 13 career interceptions in his 3 years at the Citadel. And we were talking this morning in our production meeting, and I fully expected Delaney to come up with something here today, just based on the ratio of practices to picks and turnovers, James.
Yeah, you know, there was a little bit of a stretch, though. I would go so far as to say, guys, it's one thing they're going to need to work on, because there was a little bit of a stretch where even Bethune-Cookman started going after him. They saw a little bit of a weakness, but not anything that can't be corrected. I mean, he held his own, was an All-American at the last level at the Citadel. But this is a whole new ball game here at Miami, especially in a couple weeks when you get those big hosses up in Tallahassee going against you.
Out in the flat, Tompkins can't hang on. Well, Larry Brim Jr.'s had a nice day, but he's also taken some hits. That was Demetrius Jackson who sacked him early.
Yeah, Demetrius has to be careful. He went up high there, gave him a little pop. No flag thrown there, but you get the wrong official back there that's quick on that trigger finger, and that'll cost you. You got to be careful, and you got to be able to pull up. Yeah, it's fun to give him a little bit of a pop. Those are quarterbacks on the other side. I get it. But you also have to be smart.
3rd and 10 here for the Wildcats. Brim flips it in the middle, and here is Jones picking up another first down. That's well done to Mike Jones, who's had not only a nice day running the ball, but a nice day in the receiving game. That's 19 yards and a first down.
Boy, open up the floodgates, and earlier Bethune-Cookman defensively did a great job on the screen pass and snuffing it out, just realizing it's just too easy. Nobody there for Mike Jones, and a nice pickup to keep it moving.
Brim loads, throws for Mitchell, intercepted. Malik Young in the end zone. Now he brings it out. 10, Young 15, 20, out to the 24-yard line. Larry Brim Jr.'s first big mistake of the day.
Well, they lost some guys in the secondary, West. The only quarterback that had played some for the Canes is Malik Young. How about the hands to go pluck it? And, of course, he tries to take it all the way to the other end.
It's car buying season.
North Myrtle Beach. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Principal. Investments, retirement, insurance. Well, apparently some folks had a better summer than others. You see the empty chairs on the beach. That's a nice way to spend your summer months leading up to another year of football. And we're close to the beach, relatively speaking, here in South Florida. Overcast day. And Malik Rozier hands to Mark Walton on his first carry. There's Malik Young, and woo, what's the hardware? Got a little jewelry after the pick. We gotta figure out what's going on the Miami bench. He's stationed down there next to Robert Knowles. Rebecca, what's the story?
So whenever somebody makes a turnover or is responsible for that turnover, they get to wear that chain around their neck. It's kind of a big deal. That's what I'm told.
Well, and it's going to be hard to play with it. Rozier overshoots Jeff Thomas.
Wow.
James?
Rebecca. Who put it on his neck? Who?
Oh, look at that.
Oh. So you only get it for a little while.
You only get it for the, look, and then it goes back into some sort of Hope Diamond box, I'm sure.
It's heavy.
Oh, no, we got to put it right there in the special container.
I got a gold name plate that says, I wish you would. James Todd Smith.
Hey.
Wow. I wish we would have had that.
Rebecca, extra points for your first game with us if you can find a way to get your hands on that and show it to James.
I will do my best. I'd like to wear that thing for a while. It looks pretty special.
I'll buy you a coffee next week if you get a selfie with that on.
All right,
Rebecca.
game on.
All right. Deontay Mullins, the intended receiver. Now look at this, James. Here we go. Look. Look, come here. Take the helmet off.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Hey. Well, the late Burt Parks didn't hand out crowns that good. Oh, my. Miami turned away just second punt of the day for Feagles. Canes go 3 and out after the interception return by Young. And here is the fair catch call for Bob Brown. Well, under 12 to go in the fourth. 47-yard punt by Feagles. We have cashed out. Let's see what Gary Patterson has. I think a hold here. A lot of discussion on the exchange of the punt. And here is referee Patterson.
Holding, number 7 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so that'll get us to a break. Timeout on the field.
Timeout.
Summer is over, although some may have had a better summer than others.
Come on, you guys. That's not fair. I'm never going to post anything ever again.
What happened?
That's
what
a
is
little
this?
Raising Arizona, baby. High and Ed. Tina.
All Access debuts this week with Jeff Fischel. Big profile on Lamar Jackson. Check your local listings for ACC All Access this weekend on your regional sports networks. And Jabari Dunham, 6'3", 211-pound redshirt junior from Eustis, Florida, by way of UT Martin into the ball game. He'll toss to Jones, and Mike Jones out to about the 18. It'll be a gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8. And there is Jabari Dunham with Arkevius Williams sidelined today because of the academic question marks. Larry Brim Jr. starts, and now here's second quarterback of the day, young Jabari Dunham.
Good tackle there by the backup backer, Bradley Jennings.
Dunham wants to throw. And complete. Looking for the tight end, Jaquan Loomis.
Wes, you mentioned Lamar Jackson. I'm anxious to see how this season plays out for him. I mean, all the buzz and all the storylines in college football, nobody's talking about the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And, and we talked about it earlier with Manny Diaz, his linebackers, the way you grow from year to year, from freshman to sophomore, from sophomore to junior year. He needs the pieces around him to step up. The offensive line to protect the guys not to drop balls like they did late in the season. I hope he has a good year.
Inside route, Dunham the pass, and caught by Jonathan Thomas, a freshman from Port St. Lucie, Florida. His first grab of the day for 19 yards.
There you go. New quarterback to the freshman, and nice back and moving those chains to just where Larry Brim Jr., who, even though the score won't show it, I think coach is going to be really happy with the way their senior leader played quarterback for him here today.
Going to hand the ball to Jones, and Mike Jones will pick up about 5 here on first down. We have 10 minutes to play in the game, and Jones nowhere to go there.
Well, it came with the freshness. What do you think, though, Wes? Lamar Jackson.
Look at these two familiar ACC guys. On the right is Will Glover, former wide receiver at Georgia Tech, and on the left, former Duke head coach Carl Franks. And now we'll get a timeout taken. Both those guys. ACC defensive back Kenny Scott, who is a Daytona native. So good to see some ACC ties on this Bethune-Cookman staff. Out of the timeout, here's Dunham. Out in the flat to Jones. Corderman still on the field, and Mike Jones laid the wood on Delaney as he worked up the far side toward a first down. Boy, I've been impressed with Mike Jones today and his toughness, especially after missing all of last year with an injury.
These guys, this offense, when they get into the thick of their schedule, their conference, that, more at their level. Let's, call it what it is, really. When you talk about depth and everything, at times they flashed where they can definitely hang, but the depth takes over. The athleticism, just top to bottom, takes over. This is going to be a tough out. The combination of Mike Jones and Larry Brim, I like it.
Francis will punt it away on 4th down and out of bounds. So we'll go back to Miami. 8:41 to play. Hurricanes lead by 25 when we continue. .841 to play in the ball game. Miami, number 18 in the country, leads Bethune-Cookman. And here's the first ever game action for 6'5" Evan Sherris, 216-pound redshirt junior from Jefferson, Georgia, who ironically grew up watching Mark Richt's teams at the University of Georgia, but was a guy who committed to the Al Golden administration, signed here, and now goes to work in his first possession with Travis Homer in the backfield. Looks like we're getting some of the second line offensive line guys in there as well for the Canes. We'll keep an eye on that. And Homer on first down tries to work around the corner. Jair Jones was the offensive lineman trying to help him get the edge, and picked up about 5 on first down. Nice day for Malik Rozier out of Mobile, Alabama, James.
Oh, very impressed with the junior quarterback and just his second start, and really his first where he's truly running the show, and this is his game. I think his coaching staff has to be really happy as well. Not only the way he threw the football and threw it so many different ways, but the way he tucked it and ran. Read that zone option, zone read a couple times. Made up his mind, tucked it, and went. That'll give you some troubles defensively.
3 touchdowns, 217 yards of passing. Look at Travis Homer. Cross midfield, 1st and 10. Here's a look at Malik Rozier's afternoon.
There's the long ball. Miami fans singing Malik Navidad. They got to be happy, huh? There's nice slant using the big body of Langham down near in the end zone. The fade pass. Berrios, who blocked all day long, did such a good job blocking down the field. You get the blocks, you get the rock.
Sheriff's going to look to throw for the first time. Does. Shoots it across the DJ Dallas, who James spoke of earlier, a freshman from Glenn Academy.
The first thing that Mark Richt said, so what do you really like about Sheriff? Like, he's in command of that huddle. They respond to him. They like him when he steps into that huddle, and he takes charge.
And another give. This is Homer. Nice spin in traffic, and Travis Homer a first down.
These big guys, I've been impressed with the way when they'll pull those offensive linemen, the way they can get up and run.
Here's Travis Homer. The old and the new, and a very, very nice fit for Hurricane fans and this program. Sheriff hit as he throws, and over the head of Harley, incomplete.
He's put in the hard work, and hard work pays off. And gosh, they're happy to have him back here down in the bottom, as they call it.
Well, a lot of things have gone into Mark Richt's return. Here is Homer on a 3rd and long, and can't muster up very much there. He's done a marvelous job reintegrating this program in the Miami community, James.
And he can dip over to that pool every now and then and work on his high dive skills.
50-yard try by Badgley.
Woo!
Is good. Michael Badgley's 50-yard field goal makes it 41-13. Mark Richt's done an unbelievable job on a lot of fronts, but he was proud to talk about that facility yesterday too, James.
I was asked on a radio show a couple days ago, just, the ACC, where it's at, how it's gotten here. And I think it all starts with gentlemen like Mark Richt who want to come to Miami. But with that, I think it goes hand in hand with all these great head coaches. If you're going to go and you're going to pay a head coach that much, you're also going to listen to that head coach when he says, we've got to have these facilities better. We've got to be able to compete with the rest of the country. And everybody
in Miami, this will help, I guess, not let it be so disruptive for them.
Well, what did he tell us yesterday, guys? That, they would have had 20 practice. Had they gone in the conventional?
When you can get that extra work and those lightning delays, there's nothing you can do. You can't just let me get 15 more minutes of practice in. You got to shut it down and get off the field.
And California are working their way toward the wire, and the Golden Bears, Justin Wilcox making his coaching debut today for that Cal program, James, against the rebuilt Carolina football team. Dunham will hand to Ismay here, trying to find a edge here, and gets it at the near side, down the front of the Hurricane bench, and then crosses to about the...
They've got a big one with Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, by the way, now had 8 sacks. They sacked Brad Kaya 8 times last year on the coastal side. As a whole, when you look at this schedule and some of those tough opponents, you've got Notre Dame on the schedule, of course, again.
Right.
But Miami last year had so many close games. In their 4 losses last year, it was a combined total of 32 points. So 8 points a game. In the FSU game, a close one. Notre Dame was 30-27.
Ooh. Amari Carter.
Now that they know it's not an option to launch and go with the head right there.
Yep.
I mean, just a couple of years ago, that's an automatic. You just can't control yourself almost.
Trayon Gray measures his steps. And a nice run. Picked up about 14 as we approach 2 minutes to play. They're in the final 30 seconds at Kenan Stadium. NC State, South Carolina tied after a quarter of play in Charlotte, by the way. And, of course, the big one tonight, Florida State, Alabama, but Louisville also in a Big Ten battle with Purdue, and they're playing at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
You think those Miami coaches and backup quarterbacks will wear that gold when they go up to Tallahassee? They need to find a new color. You can't even come close to wearing those colors up there.
Well, here's a look at the 2 running backs. Pair of 100-yarders today. Really like Homer, James.
I do, too.
Yeah.
Well, it was a nice surprise. We've seen our fair share. I mean, Yerby was fun to watch last year.
Here goes Gray. Well, he runs hard, and that's a first down to the 41-yard line.
One last thing about Terry Sims' team that I wanted to say earlier that impressed me too, the way they continued to play hard on special teams. I think that shows a well-coached football team. When they continue to play all the way through in a lopsided game, they played hard. I think they're going to have a good season, the Wildcats from Bethune-Cookman.
Yep. Coach Sims and his team in the MEAC. They've got Southeast Louisiana and then back in this area to take on Florida Atlantic and then to Howard to open MEAC play before they finally get a home game late in the month, James. 4 roadies to start the year. And with Bethune-Cookman. And today the Canes trailed early 3-0. And then Mark Walton and Malik Rozier set the table for a big win. Back to South Florida after this.